Okay, so gang stalkers sit next to me and are told to talk, so there's no need for me to keep moving. So this is on Irene Castro, the police. This is Irene Castro. I don't know if you can see it. My screen's all cracked up. Let me make it.
If I call the police department, I should be able to call 911 because aggravated assault with a deadly weapon is serious, and this department keeps covering for that. And if you won't take reports in person, then I need to report it with 911. That's serious. And you taking bribes and cover for things like that is serious, repeatedly over and over. So I don't want to get charged fighting for my life and not wanting cars speeding up like they're going to hit me that are in conflict with...
That's Irene Castro. She's ignoring me. It won't take the report that cars are coming up like it's...
I want to be assured that since you guys are denying me reports and law enforcement and protection, that when I call 911, you won't try to give me a charge for trying to be protected against assault with a deadly weapon. Hello?
She's ignoring me.
Since nobody
and taunting.
I should have a right to call 911 to report assault with a deadly weapon. Since nobody will take that report to the department.
I'll put it in the
description.
Because you can't see it.
No, but it's sped up. That's a crime to do that.
Look at the ducks while I'm getting this ready. Okay, this is Irene Castro.
When the car is illegal. I know the law, and I know tampering with evidence is a felony and official oppression. You tell bullying me for reporting crimes is illegal, as well as coming at someone in a threatening manner with a car. That's official oppression. Yeah, you first off, when a car comes at someone, you don't need to mistreat them and aid in a domestic violence crisis. I've made numerous reports. Why don't you know? Tampering with evidence is a felony. They said that they can't find any of your reports.
Look at her face. And cars coming at me. And I'm reporting that I've been raped and the abuser in the emails. And look at how she's treating me.
For someone putting a gun up to my head, pulling the trigger. Thank good it was good. It was no bullets.
That was that did that. Just law enforcement cover for abuse.
Police cover for all kind of abuse I have to endure. The false reports to keep me away from children, they want to investigate.
Okay, so that's that.
Leaving me in it.
They won't take a report of cars coming at me and then harass me.
Rights are terminated, yet they're defrauding me out of funds, having me pay child.
This is Irene Castro on the 8th. I'm trying to report emails. It's a new jurisdiction. I've never been there. Official oppression.
Okay, I can't give you evidence? Not yet. Okay.
I never could give her evidence.
I just came in here. I don't know who you are. I saw that man that was waiting on me outside that came in here.
Police. That's who I am.
Why are you...
I'm trying to report domestic abuse in emails.
Why are you being rude like this? Because I'm trying to report her emails. And my son was acting like this.
She never took the report of the emails.
It was rude for me trying to report these emails.
She just told you, let her show you the video. You do need the evidence. But she can't explain it. You do need to watch it. That's the problem here. Y'all don't do nothing y'all supposed to do.
She's just one with common sense.
Fucking services.
This is a document I turned in.
I think that the harassment is coming from Jason Gardner of Vivid Images. That's
to Irene Castro.
What the emails say, and that he is using police
to
enforce. No one helps me. Flee him, and he shuts down buses, which is a terroristic threat.
I couldn't catch the bus.
Phone and apps to deny law enforcement from multiple different jurisdictions. This is a report that she says that I said that they're taking bribes. The email said that, not me. They never can understand me.
So
I wish the feds can.
That has disappeared.
Now's not the proper time.
And then she said that it was a report to internal affairs.
And my device is being broken into right now.
But I was trying to report Jason Gardner. Irene Castro cover for him.
Because the upload, I'm a YouTuber. And someone keeps breaking into my YouTube.
I'm reporting hacking. They won't take the report.
That's what I'm trying to show you.
That's Irene Castro.
You have to tell me because I don't have YouTube.
But look at it, and then I'll explain to you what's going on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of that.
See how it says 50 minutes?
Surface.
The time is going up. There should be like 2 or 3 minute upload. And when I do the upload, it'll change the word and
her behavior.
The sound.
So I said that my son was hit by a car, and I believe it was deliberate to control them. My kids have been harassed, so I'm seeking protection for my children. They're getting louder. I knew they would. My kids have been harassed, stalked because of my abuse that involves government officials. There has been retaliation for my family because of me. Cars come at me. and constantly to cause fear and threaten me. I put she's a police that tamper with evidence to aid and abet my domestic violence crisis. I experience coercive control and official oppression from Irene. She also leaves the front desk when I report my abuser, Jason Gardner, or threatening cars like she did today. That's her way of denying reports and aiding and abetting my abuse. See my YouTube channel. Okay, this is June 3rd. Okay, and they changed it to June 4th because they held me up. Okay, I was supposed to be making a report because they couldn't find the reports. And look at how everybody
kind
left.
of discrimination. They'll all leave. They don't have evidence if there's no one here. I didn't know.
They left, so I couldn't do a report.
They're all gone. Yeah, I'm the only one in here.
Irene Castro was at the front.
This is that kind of discrimination. They'll all leave.
I don't know it's doing it again. The court went back in there and changed white out it. You can see that it's been white out it because they held me up and then changed the date. This actually happened June 3rd, so I said that like she did today, and it was June 4th instead of June 3rd when it really happened. So I needed the immediate restraining order because my son was actually hit with a car, and police are covering for it happening. People coming speeding up like they're going to hit me with cars, and was denied it. I put aiding and abetting my abuse. See my YouTube channel. That's not my handwriting. I did not write. I'm afraid to provide notice. So I guess they didn't want her being served. I don't know what this is. I didn't write that. You can see the handwriting's different. They do their own thing. They did this at Health and Human Services. Gave me somebody else's address to commit crimes. I don't know what they were doing, but they wrote somebody else's social on my paperwork. Look at my handwriting. I guess they don't want the police to know that I have the restraining order, so they'll keep on racking up charges. So then they added, I'm afraid to provide notice. And I didn't say that. I mean, they do retaliate. Okay, I put Irene Castro tampers with evidence, leaves while I'm talking as a strategy to tamper with evidence. Covers for Jason Gardner, who I have a court date with on 6/3. She left the front desk to cover for cars coming at me in a threatening manner on purpose. I experienced official oppression 5/28/2026 from her and emotional abuse. This when she denied a report of me being terrorized and cars speeding up like they're going to hit me. She ignored me at the front desk to cover for someone blackballing me and keeping all local organizations from helping me. All local organizations sabotage or deny help, even people I don't know. I experience housing discrimination and blatant lies and schemes to deny me services or sabotage them. On 4/8, Irene denied a report for emails from Jason Gardner and my report of partner stalking and abuse. She had me do a statement of officers taking bribes, but I was trying to report my abuser saying that in emails that he bought them off, but she wouldn't take that report. Instead, she had me do a statement denied a report and the statement that has disappeared, and then they tampered with it. See how it wasn't like this. Internal Affairs claims they never got it. I have had multiple kidnappings by false arrests by police and other crimes in the past, so her behavior is a concern. Then I put that the shelter is lashing out and chastised me for having a suitcase. And the shelters lash out when the police department's been mad. Landlords have done it, and I experienced housing discrimination, bans, criminal trespasses. I experienced kidnappings by false arrest to interrupt housing. Many times false reports are made to get the job done. Because, the shelter did not say that you get rolled up for having a backpack. Then they threatened to put me out on pathological lies until I went to the police department. Numerous locations have put me out on pathological lies or in schemes. I said that Irene Castro had aided and abetted my abuser by denying the reports of harassment in his emails, admitting to crimes and boasting about bribing and controlling the police, emails boasting about rape, crimes to keep me away from my daughter, harassment, financial abuse, and a host of other crimes. I experienced official oppression for trying to report it on 4/8. The report was denied to protect my abuser, and the statement I gave her for internal affairs disappeared. Now you can see it. This has happened with multiple other jurisdictions. I have had my freedom taken in corruption over 20 times by officers that made false reports and were aiding and abetting my abuse. This establishes a pattern of behavior that law enforcement is indeed conspiring. On 5/8/28, Irene would not respond when I asked her what happened to my statement to internal affairs I gave her. I had to do 2 copies and mailed it and it all disappeared. About law enforcement being controlled by bribes, she also would not take a report of cars coming at me in a threatening manner and all kinds of other harassment. Since there is a history of me being terrorized by law enforcement, her behavior raises some concerns and is illegal. See my YouTube channel. There it is again, Kiana Clark Pease, and 2, and the Northern District Court case in Dallas, Texas. This is what I told them they were doing about the reports. Let me show you a better copy, but they have a copy of some notes I made. You have to watch them because they've had to make numerous copies because they deliberately cut off things so you won't know. So the judge isn't getting the full thing about the emails. And then shut down public transportation, report denied, getting bullied. I also reported that I was not able to catch the bus. I was at the bus stop hours and the bus would not come. Multiple different bus, and it's happened years. I reported emails again on the 9th. I'm getting harassed because she wouldn't take the report. Official oppression. Reporting the police to my abuser to the police. They didn't take that report either. 4/13. Trying to speak with the victim advocate. 4/13. Reporting lies at shelter. What's happening, I'll report something to the police and then the shelter will retaliate. This has happened years at multiple different shelters. They're forcing me into shelters. When I get my own, they'll scam to take it. So it's that coercive control. And then I experience housing discrimination to keep me in shelter. My homelessness is enforced and it's not up for negotiation. If I get my own, then they'll scheme a false arrest and take it. Or negotiate with the landlord and have set up a legal eviction and then blacklist me from housing. I'm telling the police that I'm being denied case management at all these different organizations. They're behind it. I don't know what's going on. I thought he was bribing the organizations, but he's actually doing it through the police. And the police are controlling the organizations because they were at the Women's Center. And the Women's Center wouldn't help me and the police came. So I keep reporting that these organizations aren't helping me. Someone's intercepting my ability to get help to flee abuse. And they won't take the reports. I'm reporting my abuser again. On the 24th, 4/24, they finally did a criminal threat investigation, but I was reporting that government officials were being influenced, and I showed them evidence of the false arrest and told them all about the kidnappings by false arrest. But to cover for that, they did a criminal threat report that nobody would investigate. And it's just that report. But I was reporting and showed them, I said I was concerned that they may do another kidnapping here. So I showed them evidence that police have been taking my freedom, aiding and abetting my abuse, and kidnapping me at the hands of doing law enforcement, but it's false arrest. I'm reporting that more organizations are denying me assistance, scheming, they're pathologically lying to get out of giving me services or sabotage them. Here's a report I did because they kept pretending like they didn't know, trying to oppress. It's out of focus. My device is being hacked. Okay, it says I'm reporting that the Women's Center and numerous other locations have schemed to keep me from services. I've been denied proper treatment at all organizations, victims advocates, case managers, and a conspiracy to keep me in a domestic violence crisis. They wouldn't take the report. I called 911 because you can report a domestic violence crisis, but my freedom has been taken numerous times for trying to flee domestic violence and reporting it. I showed them this missing report. Car is sped up like it's going to hit me in the threatening manner. When I have the crosswalk, they run red lights to come at me when it's clear, and I'm not suspecting. It happens often, and it happened a couple of times today. When people get caught in crimes and abuse, they blame me for it, like a girl just did from my shelter. She lied and said as an alibi for her stalking and harassment. It has been a pattern. I'm reporting harassment with stalking, a felony. Cars speeding up like they're going to hit me to scare me. Bikers do it too. That's turned into Order. And I also tried to report it to Irene, Castro, and they both would not take the report. But they won't give me Orrin's first name, and the court is claiming that you can't do restraining orders unless you have a first name, and I didn't have his first name. I just had Irene's. But police are terrorizing me, and they're minions, and it's time that they got accountability for it. Okay, this is better. This is 5-7. I relocated on my own to a different state because our help to flee domestic violence was denied or sabotaged. For years, organizations retaliate because they pretend like they can't hear. So I wanted to write it, and they give me a hard time with writing it because they want to argue and oppress. With false reports of mental violence or sabotage. For years, organizations retaliate with false reports of mental illness or mental instability to cover for emails, abuse, and corruption. Today, at Lakata, representative slandered me after she played games with Child Protective Services and Malice. We were supposed to be doing a report, and she was supposed to be helping me flee. But law enforcement has these people behave like this and lie to keep me from fleeing abuse they're enlisted in. And they cut off any kind of support, like they're doing at church, and then lying about it. So, slandered me after playing games with Child Protective Services and Malice and failed to let me speak with the worker or tried to follow up with the proper jurisdiction. I'm trying to prove this is how I have been stuck and my rights have been violated. It appears that any strategy I take for help is either sabotaged or denied. Turn into Sardar 37806. This is evidence of what's been turned into the judge. They hindered. I have to wait. People come by me and talk, like I said, watching me shoot live videos. Let me wait. I gave them evidence about the bogus arrest in Nashville to interrupt me fleeing. What happened in Nashville, I called help on my phone and the lift glitched, so I couldn't catch it. And then I called the police because I couldn't. I was trapped. And then they arrested me for reporting it. And then stole the video footage that I had recorded off my phone. After that, after I was released from jail on the 28th, they took my freedom and took me to a mental hospital in Malice on 3/9. No, I think it was 3/28. No, 2/28 or 29. So they kept me in the hospital in Malice. My doctor, Aisha Jimenez, has integrity issues. She's holding up my release. I believe she's doing this in Malice. They knew I had my YouTube channel. They saw that I talked to the police about fleeing, and what they did was take me to the to the hospital in Malice and kept me against my will. My attorney is Autumn Edelson. I was trying to tell her what happened, and she wouldn't let me speak. Kept cutting me off, being rude. And she could not properly represent me. This is what I'm telling you, but it's not on here. She couldn't properly represent me if she wouldn't let me speak. So I was telling her they were keeping me against my will, like numerous other parties. And then the hospital staff took the phone off the speaker because she was trying to start an argument, and I said I couldn't hear. And the hospital representative unplugged the phone while I was talking to my attorney. This is how I'm treated. They have cameras. That's why I did the report, the grievance. I have no ID. They stole my ID, and when I was arrested, they have jail IDs. And the social worker they told me that the social worker may be able to talk to the police and give me my jail ID, because that can be used as an ID. But they were scamming because they deliberately stole my ID to keep me from an ID. There is like abusive mentality. They didn't want me to have those vitals. And they're scamming now with my birth certificate, so I can't have my vitals to keep me from fleeing. 2 social workers are denying assistance and playing games deliberately. I believe leaving me in problems. They will now advocate for me to get me the withheld jail government ID. They told me that perhaps they could help and call the police and see if they can get it. And the police intercept help and then lie about it. because they, like I said, don't want me having the ID. There was no reason to go in Promise Point and steal the ID if they were going to give me the jail ID. With no ID, you can't get hotels, and it forces me into that coercive control. This is when I was in the hospital on the false pretenses for trying to flee abuse. They had arrested me, released me from jail, and then set me up and took me to a mental hospital. When placing my call to the rescue mission, the rescue mission stole my backpack with all this evidence in it and the little things that I had. I had lost everything on the bogus charges in Victoria. I was tortured in jail 6 months, was released, and was free a week, and then already was arrested again in Nashville. And then they stole the backpack. The shelter wouldn't give me my backpack in a scam because they wanted that evidence. So when placing my call to the rescue mission, shelter was hung up on, and hospital staff overheard the conversation. She stated that was wrong what she heard when the rescue mission hung up on me for trying to make sure they didn't throw my backpack away and trying to figure out why they would not give me my backpack and kept my property. That's a theft. I informed the rescue mission my property was taken without my consent and then withheld from me, and had a lot of evidence regarding crimes government officials were committing to me, and was hung up on. Hospital staff called the advocate because of what she overheard, passed me the phone, and I was immediately hung up on again by rescue mission staff. My Dr. Jimenez is making false reports of my behavior being delusions, saying that it didn't happen. I believe she's aiding and abetting other crimes. That's the complaint to get down to the bottom of this. Also, Brandon, my case manager, was on his way to talk to me on 3/6/2026. They told me to stand in line. Wait right there, he'll be there. I was told to stand in line, and it is 3/9/2026 at 10 a.m., and he never came. He has yet to surface. I wasn't stupid. Eventually, I got out of line. They said, stand right there in the hall. He'll be here. And days later, he never came. I was arrested on bogus charges for trying to report my phone was hacked. I was being defrauded on 2/28 and later released with without my inmate ID. That was 2/28. I was arrested. Then they put the bogus charge on me to hold that over my head and try to trap me in that location. Brandon is not advocating for me as my social worker. This has been a pattern. All my social workers, all possibilities have been sabotaged or denied assistance. And then I put detained in corruption after bogus arrest in Nashville. See corruption. This is what the judge has for this restraining order on Irene. The evidence, okay, the history with law enforcement. The exhibits here. These are the cards. These are who's taking these bogus reports that aren't surfacing. I'm putting police are tampering with evidence on the cards and not putting on them what I'm trying to report. They have the days of what I'm really reporting. And this is when he put the wrong date. I put 5/8. He put 6/8 as a strategy to tamper with evidence. 6/8 hadn't happened yet. Today, I think, is the 7th. Today is the 6th. Today is the 6th. And he put the 8th to tamper with evidence. Came in alleging multiple crimes. What I was alleging, a sheet's missing. They do that. They did that with the cards. I gave them copies, and then they don't copy things that are incriminating. So 5/8, it has the cards, and I don't think that they turned it into the judge, even though I gave it to them. Let me make sure. Okay, here it is. It was just in a different area. That's how they tricked me. It's the same page copied twice to make me think it's the 2 pages. They are con artists to a T. Okay, never mind. It is here. Okay, but they do play games like that. So, oppression won't take the report that I was removed from a group on lies and more slander. That's what I was reporting. That Lakata blatantly lied. They strategized something about medication so they won't have to help me flee abuse. They said that they were going to help me find a exit strategy of this city. And the police department intercepts it and then lies. His report was something different. I'm stating that I'm blackballed and can't get legal representation, and then they make it seem petty and won't take a report. None of this has surfaced, these reports. They're just put it on they're not really reporting it, tampering with evidence. I cannot get legal representation at legal aids or trying to hire an attorney. No one will represent me, even in jail on bogus charges. I don't get it. Then they gave me a bogus address to get the protection order. That's not where you get protection orders. At least they told me when I called that you don't. So I told him about the car speeding up like they're going to hit me. 524 Citizen Park, that's Order. Repeat, they didn't want to put this in there, and I had to catch them. I said, these are not all the cards. Alleges multiple crimes, refuses to make statements. 911 abuser, requests a business card. 524. Dispute at Women's Center. I'm reporting that these organizations are scheming to keep me from assistance. And since they're behind it, they're putting, I was kicked out for recording, but they were scamming to keep me from services. I'm not getting services at all these organizations. I'm blackballed. So I told him about the cars. 524. 524. Baseless. I had the recordings. He wouldn't look at them. I'm reporting the cars. And I have video evidence of it that he wouldn't look at. Orrin. And I believe he was with Irene Castro. If it wasn't this date, I know for a fact it was on the 28th of May. So the court has a history of official oppression, misconduct by law enforcement, misconduct by courts, misconduct by hospitals, me being kept against my will, kidnapping, emails, the law enforcement, government officials aiding and abetting abuse, shelters, and all kind of other crimes. And what do the courts typically do with it? The same thing that they've been doing in the past until someone holds them accountable.